Welcome to Let's Make a Game Platformer, episode 25. In last episode, I've added this new enemy that is shooting projectiles, as you can see. There's a couple of problems with this. First of all, the projectiles are not moving. And second of all, the way I've defined how often the projectile is being shot, at the moment it's visible in two places. First of all, we have it here, for defining how long you want to walk, and also in here, which is the frequency of the attack. Unfortunately, both of those places are not where it's supposed to be. Where this stuff actually belongs in is the class that is responsible for defining the component that defines the projectile attack. This information that it should be shot once every 3 seconds or whatever it is should be in the definition of the bug with a gun, and here saying this specific type of enemy shoots this projectile every whatever number of milliseconds or seconds. So let me start on with this. So first of all, I'll add here the get projectile shoot frequency, and add the property to it here, and let's say that it's going to be shooting it every 3 seconds, the way we had it before. And to add to that, to continue with this trend, we have to remove this wrapper here. The reason I've done it is in the previous episode was just that the episode was really long and I wanted to have something working, but now I'll do it correctly. So we want to do these two tasks in parallel, and the attack enemy should not be specifying the frequency. Instead, the attack task somehow should figure out that, oh, by the way, I should not be attacking more often than some particular frequency. So the way we do it here is the attack task, if you remember from the last episode, is sending a perform attack event on the entity that should be performing an attack. I'll add here now what I was talking in previous episode, the success flag, which success equals true, and create a getter for it. Okay, and the attack task now will be returning the value attack, and based on the result, if attack is successful, it will return success, otherwise it will return failure. So now in the combat system, we have two combat systems. That's interesting. Okay, this is the player overlapping enemy. I should probably merge them somehow, but for now let's continue with this while we're on it. So this listener is invoked whenever the attack is requested by the attack task. And in here, what we have to do is, first of all, modify it once again. Add here last projectile shot. So this is going to be storing the time when projectile was last shot. And in the combat system, we'll have to introduce the time manager. And in here, we'll check projectile get last projectile shot, and if time, sorry, if last projectile shot plus attack projectile get shoot frequency is less than time, that means that we can shoot again. Let's shoot projectile. And the shoot projectile will shoot also on the event itself. Shoot projectile on the event. It should say that it succeeded. Otherwise, we don't have to do anything. By default, the success is false. And that's it. We also have to update the... So I'll move this part here. And attack projectile. Or maybe I will not move it here. I'll just instead here set that attack projectile. Set last shot current time. Okay, so once again, to get through this, we check if this amount of time at least has passed since last projectile was shot, and if it did pass, we set the new time and shoot the projectile, and then specify that this event was that the attack was successful. Otherwise, it's going to be considered failure. Okay, that solves one of the problem that we have. Now we have the frequency of the attack stored in this class, in the actual component that is responsible for the attack itself. Now we have to make it so that the attack. So at the moment, if I run this, let's maybe take a look at what's going to happen. A lot of really bad things are going to happen. That's what I'm going to tell you. So we're going to shoot and stop. It's not even shooting even. Because it shoots after first 3 seconds. No. Something weird is going on. Okay. Because this one is running forever. That's why. This so sequence basically executes those in sequence. So once this task is finished, it will go to this one. However, this one is never finished because it patrols endlessly. So instead of the sequence, we want to use here parallel. So we'll be executing those tasks at the same time. And we have a choice here of either parallel 1, which means that this whole task, the parallel task, is going to finish when at least one of them is finished, or parallel all, which is going to say that this task is going to finish when all of them are finished. So if we run it now, it will patrol endlessly and also shoot. However, the problem is that with the shooting is that at the moment our shooting can fail. We are not interested in failing, whether the attack is successful or not. Therefore, we can wrap it in succeeder task. So this is a special wrapper or decorator, depending on what kind of nomenclature you want to use, that even if the task that you pass to it, even if the task fails, it will always return that it was success. Succeeder. Okay, here it is. So this task will always say, yeah, the task has succeeded. The problem is now with that. Let me look through this. That this task is going to succeed. So the first time it's going to be invoked is going to succeed, and the parallel all will say, okay, I'm no longer going to execute this task because it's finished already. So what we now want to do is make sure that we repeat this. However, we don't want to repeat it like infinitely. We want to repeat it once per frame. So we are going to use here a type of task. It's called repeat once per frame. Repeat once per frame, and specify that the task that we want to repeat is the whole thing. Okay, so that should work. Let me check. Okay, almost. It's shooting way too many of them. So let me see. So it appears that the attack is not storing correctly the, where is it? Combat system. Maybe I didn't set it on the bug with gun, how often it can shoot. I did. Okay, so let me debug it quickly. Okay, so I found the problem. The problem was that I'm not saving this entity here. So this change has not been actually saved to the entity system itself. I was looking at this save here. I was saying, okay, this is going to this code, it's going to save it. However, in here, I'm saving the entity, the projectile itself. The changes made to the projectile, not to the entity that is shooting the projectile. So let me fix this problem here. I'll do entity ref, save changes, and run it now, and it should be fine now. Okay, shoot shot once, twice, every 3 seconds. Yeah, everything's working fine. Let me now quickly check that if I modify the frequency of the attack in the prefab, it will actually work. So I'll do it once every second. Yeah, it's working now. So you can now define some more dangerous enemies that will shoot more often or less often, and so on. Okay, so let's go with 3 seconds for the time being. So we solved this problem. The AI is now much neater. We don't have the same thing configured in 2 places, and even though we didn't belong in neither of them. So that part is done. Okay, now let's go with making the actual projectiles move. So in the combat system here, we are specifying the direction. We can also define. Okay, let me take a look at the prefab for the projectile itself. It has kinetic object. Okay, so we can maybe modify the kinetic object to specify the direction it should be moving in the combat system itself. The same way we're specifying the facing direction, we can also, so we're adding location, and we can also do projectile get component kinetic object component. Maybe we can check if it has it. And we can assign a speed to it. Based also on the direction. No, we have to have it here. So if it has direction, if the entity that we have has direction, then we will assign set velocity x and float. So in the projectile component, so the define attack, you can also specify the speed. Projectile speed, and we'll modify the bug with gun to say that the projectile speed is, so this is the same units like here. So the movement of the bug itself is 2. Player is moving, I believe, at 6. Yes, so maybe we can do the same speed as the player. So 6 as well. So projectile speed and float projectile speed equal to attack projectile, get projectile speed, and okay, I'll extract it here. And if we're moving to the left, we have to projectile speed equals minus projectile speed. So revert it if it's moving to the left, because towards the negative values, and we'll set the projectile speed here. Okay, let's see it running now. Okay, the projectile is moving. Oh, and I died. My own game has defeated me. And died again. Okay, so we solved those two problems. First of all, I fixed the way AI worked, the placement of the shoot frequency, and also fixed that the actual projectiles move. Let me think if there's anything else that I wanted to do. No, I think that's it for this episode. Make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel. You can now also follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.